From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
This is a WUFT News update. I'm Macie Goldfarb.
And I'm Brenna DeLong. Thank you for joining us. The United States added 467,000 jobs in January, defying expectations despite Omicron chaos. More jobs were seen in sectors like hospitality, retail transportation, and warehousing. Employment has climbed by 19 million jobs since April 2020. But compared to figures before the pandemic, there's still a shortage of nearly 2 million jobs. One of the 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery will no longer plead guilty to a federal hate crime charge. Gregory McMichael withdrew his guilty plea soon after the judge rejected a plea bargain. His son Travis did the same today. Jury selection for their federal hate crimes trial will begin Monday.
A Florida man and his grandson discovered 2 sniper rifles in a canal near Miami while magnet fishing. Dwayne Smith and his grandson took up the hobby, which uses a strong magnet at the end of a rope to fish out metal objects. The guns they found were not loaded, but as Smith cleaned them, he found the serial numbers had been ground off. He turned the weapons in to Miami-Dade police. The agency is still evaluating whether the guns were used in a crime.
Russia is finding a friend in China when it comes to stopping NATO expansion. The 2 presidents met in Beijing before the start of the Winter Olympics. In a lengthy joint statement, Russia expressed opposition to any form of independence for Taiwan. In turn, China expressed support for Russia's push for security guarantees in Europe. When the Parade of Nations started at the Winter Games, Vladimir Putin closed his eyes when athletes from Ukraine came in the stadium.
The cold fronts so far this winter have brought some freezing nights to north central Florida. As WUFT's Arlette Villalona reports, it's having an impact on locally grown crops.
Meg Boria spends most of her days growing fruits and vegetables for low-income families who cannot access local markets.
And I'm privileged enough to be able to afford local and organic produce. For many families in Gainesville, that convenience is not really available, and so we take it on as our mission to provide those families with local and organic food.
But cold fronts and freeze warnings make it difficult for Meg to serve her community. Since founding the Gainesville Giving Garden, Meg says this winter has been the coldest one yet. Garden management intern Marlena Nelson says the freezing temperatures halts the growth of these crops.
So basically the frost is what kills them. It breaks the structure of the plant, and then the melting, they tend to die.
Danielle Wards, store manager of Wards Supermarket, says that after this week's temperatures, they have seen blemishes on their produce imported from local farms.
It could possibly just damage them, and you can come in and it looks like a freezer. They've been in the freezer, so it would be like a transparent look. So unfortunately, when that happens, and if the farmer brings in product like that, we have to deny it on delivery.
But Boria says she won't let the cold fronts win that easily. She has found a temporary solution that prevents her products from being damaged by the cold weather.
So the frost cloth has been a really effective tool just in keeping the vegetables free of frost damage.
Nelson says that this innovation has revolutionized the way that they grow crops and has even protected their produce even during the cold winter months.
So the frost cloth basically is a cover. Just like you would use a blanket for yourself, it insulates them and keeps them warm.
Last week, volunteers built a bean trellis that allows them to grow beans more functionally and effectively. Despite these temperatures, with the help of frost cloth blankets and volunteers, Meg has hope that her vegetables will endure this winter. For WUFT News, Arlette Villalona.
Gainesville Giving Garden currently distributes food to around 10 low-income local families.
Boria predicts that if temperatures rise, her farm will be able to produce more crops and double the number of families they help.
Brenna, I hear it'll be another cool weekend, but at least it won't be freezing.
I mean, I hope that I can just go outside at some point, but let's get to Zoey Robinson with the details.
Yeah, it definitely won't be as cold as it was in the past weekend. We saw record-breaking cold temperatures. This weekend, a bit of a cool down, but for right now, temperatures were in the low 80s, bit above average for this time of the year, cooling down as we head closer to sunset. But notice out to the west, building clouds, and that's actually along a frontal boundary. Notice this cold front swung through the panhandle, and behind it, numerous rounds of showers and thunderstorms in some areas. Staying dry here at home at the moment. Marion County, Alachua County staying dry. Closer towards the I-10 corridor, some spotty showers there. Right now, like I said, remaining dry, but we could see a few heavy downpours later on tonight. Winds, though, gusting upwards of 30, staying stagnant at about 25 miles an hour, so pretty windy out there if you're taking a walk. Temperatures sitting in the low 70s in some areas like Cross City and Live Oak, but then closer towards Gainesville and Ocala, sitting closer to that 80-degree mark. As we head through the rest of the evening, temperatures slowly cooling into the mid-50s, but notice we'll have an ongoing chance for passing showers all throughout the night. Notice spotty showers if you're heading out through dinner time and into the overnight. Could see a brief dry pocket as we head into Saturday morning, and then another round when we could be waking up at around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you're headed out between now and tomorrow morning, I would just make sure to pack an umbrella. This weekend, overall looking good. Shouldn't be a total washout. Those showers should dry off by tomorrow morning and making for a pretty nice afternoon. Mix of sun and clouds, temperatures sitting in the upper 50s both days. Could see another round of some spotty showers on Sunday, but overall looking good. Next week, cloudier skies on the horizon, and that's because of a low pressure system that will be developing off the coast once this cold front officially passes through. Notice swinging up from the south, an area of low pressure that's just going to be parking itself off our coast, and that will be why we'll be seeing an increase in our moisture and an increase in cloud cover. As for temperatures, slowly cooling down a bit below average for this time of year in the afternoon, sitting in the mid 60s, cooling down into the low 40s. Chance of rain through Tuesday with the best chance on Sunday. Here's the rest of the week. Now to Alexa Harley with sports.
Thank you, Zoe, and we've got plenty of Gator sports happening this weekend. Let's start with Gator women's basketball, who pummeled Rocky Top last night 84-59. Guard Kiara Smith put up 25 points alone against number 7 Tennessee. Florida moves to 6-3 in conference play after the 25-point smackdown on the Vols and 16-6 overall. The Gators will face another ranked SEC opponent on Sunday at Georgia. Tip-off is at 1 p.m. After a nail-biter against Missouri on Wednesday, Gator men's hoops are back at home this weekend. Coming off a 66-65 win at Missouri on Wednesday, the Gators now host Ole Miss, who they played just over a week ago. Ole Miss exploded after the half, shooting roughly 74%, sinking 17 of 23 shots on their way to a 70-54 win. Florida has a chance for revenge on their court tomorrow. Tip-off is at 3:30 p.m. Florida will see more SEC action tonight. Gator Gymnastics travels to Missouri for their meet at 7 p.m. The only time Missouri has topped the Gators was back in 2018. Florida looks to continue its undefeated streak this season tonight. Girls high school hoops will crown several district champions tonight. 3 local teams have a chance for victory in their districts. Hawthorne travels to Wildwood, PK Young will host Providence School, and Gainesville faces Columbia. The Jacksonville Jaguars have found the answer to their coaching fiasco by hiring former Eagles head coach Doug Peterson. He spent this past season away from the game, but led the Eagles to a Super Bowl win back in 2017. The 54-year-old takes over for Urban Meyer, who was let go after 13 games. The opening ceremonies for the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics are today. While there are no former Gator athletes competing, there is a Gator graduate. Speed skater Erin Jackson is a favorite to win gold in the women's 500-meter race. Additionally, 2 other Ocala native speed skaters, Brittany Bowe and Joey Mantilla, will compete in the Olympics. Now, I know I'm a big hockey fan, so obviously I'm excited for some hockey in the Olympics, but did you know that Jamaica is sending a bobsled team back to the Olympics for the first time in 20 years?
Okay, that is pretty cool, but I have to say figure skating will always be the most entertaining for me.
My favorite is figure skating too. And you know what? Ariana Psarakos actually has a dose of my favorite Winter Olympic sport and more in entertainment news.
My name is Ariana Psarakos and welcome to Entertainment News. Today I'm gonna fill you in on celebrity life and milestones in sports and modeling. Victoria's Secret hires their first black transgender model. Emira de Spain is a TikTok personality best known as XOXO Emira. Emira posted a TikTok on Tuesday captioned, "Valentine's Day Single Girl Edition with Victoria's Secret. The best love is self-love. Hashtag VS Feel the Love. Hashtag VS Partner." This announcement is a historic step for the company, which has long been criticized for its lack of inclusivity. It seems VS is turning a new page, moving past transphobic comments made in 2018 by Ed Razek, VS's former chief marketing officer. Martha Pease replaced Razek last year and says she wants to build new, deeper relationships with all women. Today marks the first day of the 2022 Winter Olympics. An American ice skating star, Nathan Chen, has just made history. Chen performed a quad flip, a triple axel, and a quad lat triple toe loop for his first performance. He wowed judges and fans with his routine, which has never been done before. He scored 4 points in execution, an almost perfect score. Chen has acquired the nickname Quad King on social media as he quickly becomes this year's star skater. Chen will come back to the ice on Tuesday for the men's single short program. And for some local celebrity news, Roddy Ricch will perform next week at the O'Connell Center. UF's student government is hosting rapper Roddy Ricch this Tuesday to kick off Black History Month. This is not the first time SGP has hosted a high-profile artist. 21 Savage, Tory Lanez, and Ghana have performed in the O'Connell Center in recent years. Tickets are being sold online and at the O'Connell Center box office. The tickets are $10 for UF students and $20 for the general public. Gates open at 6 p.m. I am Ariana Psarakos, and that wraps up today's dose of entertainment news.
A Virginia man turns 103 years old, and thousands of people across the nation are sharing in on the celebration. Orland Phillips is a World War II veteran who is turning 103 this Saturday. His daughter, Mary Hodge, took to social media seeking out birthday cards for her father's special day. Cards have been rolling in, more than 1,000 already, and they've been coming in from almost all 50 states. Phillips promises he'll read every one. Thanks for keeping up with WUFT News on Facebook. I'm Macie Goldfarb.
And I'm Brenna DeLong. That's our time for now, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.